I'd like to call to order the Weathersfield School Board meeting for August 8th at 6:34 p.m. I guess we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Are there any changes or additions to the agenda? I just had one at the meeting this supervisory board meeting last night. They asked us to talk about this. I think we talked about it briefly at our board retreat, but I think they'd like us to maybe sign it, right? And store it somewhere. Yep. Would there be somewhere to store our, like, if we all sign these? Yeah. Okay. All right. So maybe at our next meeting we could, because I haven't given this to BJ to Xerox or anything for us all to have to copy, but we can talk about it for items for discussion. This is the code of ethics. Anything else? Okay. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from our board retreat on June 20th? I'll take a motion to approve the minutes. Okay. Sarah's gonna make a motion to approve the minutes from June 20th. Is there any discussion or any changes anyone has? All in favor of approving the minutes from June 20th, say aye. Aye. That's unanimous. Is there any public participation? Next up, we have a student presentation of learning. Not one tonight, okay. Administrative report, that'll be.
Brian's gonna start, but I'm gonna share.
Hi, Brian.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Are you going to share it, Christine?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So hello from extremely hot Southern California. It is only 90 degrees today right now. So I am inside in the air conditioning, which is nice. So we are here moving my mother-in-law to become a part of New England. She recently bought a house in New Hampshire, so we're packing up all our stuff and bringing her there. So thank you for allowing me to do the board report tonight from California. So it's only 3:30 here, so my day's still going on, so which is nice. So August 8th report, let's go ahead and get started. So first off, I want to send a thank you out to our amazing cleaning crew with Brian Woodbury, Kelly O'Brien, Kathy Dana, Heather Goki joined the team this year from our kitchen, and then also the SU maintenance department. They've been doing a fantastic job just to make sure that our school is up and running for our students and our staff, and they have been working tirelessly to get it done, which I appreciate, and it looks great. And it's always amazing. I get a little stressed out when I walk in. I walked in on Saturday before we left, or Sunday before we left, just to look at the hallways, and they still were like a little too much stuff out there, but it all comes together and it's magical right before it happens, which is great. So I just want to tell them how much I appreciate them for all of their efforts. All right, go ahead. And then we just got back from the VPA conference. So last week we were gone. We got the opportunity to go to Killington. We had our Vermont Principals Association conference as well as our admin retreat. So it was a great opportunity for our administrative team to be together and work with other administrators across the state of Vermont and to find out that we're doing pretty amazing here in Windsor Southeast Supervisory Union, and that other people have some issues as well, but we're doing pretty fantastic. And it was great. The keynote speakers, I think my favorite one was Kim Strobel. She's a motivational speaker and a happiness coach. And I was physically and emotionally drained after her presentation because she had so much energy. But she did as much energy as she sucked out of you. She definitely put it back into the room, which was great. So it was nice to be able to hear her and her positivity, and that her message was so amazing. So I appreciated having the opportunity to be with my administrative team and to be able to be there to see some of that. Go ahead, Christine. And then our staff is busily preparing on working on their classroom. I don't think there's been a day that I've been there that they haven't been working in their classroom. Somebody's been there, getting ready for the new curriculum, preparing for the new school year, just making sure that their classrooms are perfect for all of our students when they come in there. So I just want to say thank you to them as well I know that they have 184 days of working according to their contract, but they all work well above and beyond that. So we appreciate all of the extra time that they put in for that. So thank you very much, staff. All right, PTO, our amazing PTO. We have Jamie Richardson, who is here, and she will talk a little bit about PTO and what's going on with them. Thank you, Jamie.
All right, you guys, this is my annual time that I present to you our calendar of some fundraisers. We do look for your approval on this at this meeting. And so I would like to go over just a few of the items on this list. First of all, thank you very much for having me. I get to represent all of the very generous members of the PTO, and so it certainly is not just me. I'm very grateful for a wonderful and active board and all of the volunteers that come along with that. So as we look at this calendar, we are excited to see something happening every month, whether it's a fundraising event, which are highlighted in that orange, or if it's a give back, which is highlighted in the blue. It's exciting to be fairly distributed throughout each month and knowing, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into some of these fundraisers or some of these events, and it really does take a village. And boy, are we lucky here at Wethersfield that we have quite a large village of families, friends, extended families, friends, anyone we can pull off the street that's willing to help us, and all of you. So you all have seen what we've done in the last couple of years. And so a lot of this is, you know, if it's not broken, we're not going to try and fix it. There's some things that we've learned from each of our events, and we're certainly wanting to do a couple things differently and more exciting, but certainly don't want to take away from some of the awesome stuff that we've done over the last couple of years. So some of the things I just want to bring to your attention, the items that are in orange, these are our fundraising events, a couple of new ones this year. You'll see in September, the Claremont Kiwanis Brew Fest. We're going to be selling some pretzel necklaces and popcorn at that event. So it's a big fundraiser for the Kiwanis Club that's based out of Claremont, but they do a lot of fundraising for children, and they're looking for an extension into Wethersfield. So it was actually brought to our attention by a staff member at the school and said, hey, we think it would be really great if you guys want to make that a fundraiser. You can table at this event and sell pretzel necklaces and your famous popcorn and raise a little money for us, but also we can advertise for our Paw Drop event. So it's the weekend before our Paw Drop. So it's a huge audience, and it's a great opportunity for us to have some exposure for that. And you're going to see right after that, the following Friday, is our Paw Drop. So that's the big thing that we're working on right now. It's an event that's going to be a lot like last year, but wildly successful last year. So we anticipate the same kind of success this year. We're making it bigger and better than last year with some different activities, but we're going to be filling up the athletic fields, and we're going to have a dance party, and we've got some great prizes rolling in for our Paw Drop. We sold 4,000 paws last year, and we're hoping to break that record, the 1-year record, 4,000 paws this year. So if you're interested, we are already selling those. Super excited event. It really does, it just is a great kickoff to our school year. And it doesn't conflict with any other community event, which is great because there's a lot of other fall and school events that are happening around that time. So we get lucky that we don't have to share that date with any other local events. So another new item on our calendar you'll see in October is a pie sale. It's exactly what it says it is. So a few of us went to a PTO Today event in Massachusetts. It was a really nice opportunity for us to see a bunch of different fundraising ideas. And we taste tested some pies, and we had to put it on the calendar. Carrie can attest. Her, myself, and Jessica Brown, and we've craved the pies ever since. And there's a rather significant profit that we can make off of each pie. So we are going to be, once the school year starts, we'll have some flyers that will go out with every student. And it's just, there's no cost to us. It's just these delicious pies, and it's right before Thanksgiving time. So you can pop them in your freezer, and you can be in charge of desserts with all of your family because we've already got that taken care of for you. So anyway, so that's the new one that's on our list. And we're hoping to make a little extra money from that one. Moving into November, that's when our holiday apparel sale starts. We do that every year. That's where everybody can buy their Wethersfield swag for their friends and family for the holidays. Moving into December, we had Make It and Take It, and we've had it for a number of years. Came back last year, was awesome. We added a craft fair, which we're gonna do again this year in the gym. That was really successful. And then this year we're adding a little holiday shop. So we'll have some already made items that will be, less make it, more buy it and take it. So those will be in addition to it this year. And so that's a nice event that we're gonna have. So January and February are, more of our, it's snowing, the weather gets things complicated. We need to take a break from all the fundraising and we need to gear up for our spring. So you'll see we have a couple of dances in that time as we prepare for March, the spring apparel sale. So everybody who has buyer's remorse or non-buyer's remorse from the holiday apparel sale can buy their spring merch and be ready for all the spring sports seasons and be ready with their t-shirts for the warmer months. And then we do our March Madness calendar sale. So that's something we've done the last couple of years. Really fun, really simple event, great little fundraiser for us. Last year in April, we held our first adult comedy night. So much fun. We had great turnout. We learned a lot from it, and we'd like to do that again. Sort of the same scenario as last year. We hope to use the Windsor High School auditorium. Beautiful space, perfect for something like this. Same headliner comedian, but she comes with some other different comedians that we are hoping to get this year. So it was a funny evening, and it was successful for us. And then believe it or not, we're talking about May. And so you guys gave us permission last year to do some graduation signs for the 8th grade. It did not come to fruition for us, but we've learned a lot about how the other local schools do it for their high schools. So those are the yard signs that you see in the yard. So we just needed to start that sooner rather than at the 11th hour last year, which is why you're seeing it come on the 1st of May. So that gives us a lot of time for us to get that information out to parents and families who have some graduating 8th graders. They can get their yard signs out, and we just make a few bucks on each of those. So it'll be kind of fun to see our students all around the greater Wethersfield community. And then the rest of the year is all about giving back. So it's just the testing kits and Panther Cub Night and staff appreciation, and it's a lot of give back at the end of the year. That's the fun stuff, we love to do all of that at the end of the year. So that rounds out our fundraising events, and then the blue are, of course, the give backs of the dances and the give backs. And we always find ways to give back that aren't on the calendar because we're inspired by all these wild Facebook groups that we're a part of or Pinterest rabbit holes. And so we have budgeted for us to do monthly touch points for staff. So those are to be determined what they are, whether it's a coffee bar 1 month or if it's snacks in the break room or, maybe it's school supplies or something that will give them. So those will be peppered in throughout the year as well. Those are just whatever is the need at the time of the month so that they can feel appreciated, and we will get inspired randomly by something fun, and there'll be a balloon arch or something. You'll see it when you're driving. You all know how we work in that way. So those you're not really seeing on here either. One thing that you're not seeing on here that I need to mention though is our booster concessions. So those start in for the fall sports. We generally take a break in the winter for the basketball season. It's a little bit more complicated to vend out of the gymnasium. And then we bring them back in the fall for baseball. So what you see here, we have a door on our PTO room now. We're in there cleaning tonight, which is why I'm dressed a little down this evening, probably covered in cobwebs. But we've had some thievery that happened out of our PTO room last year. So we didn't really make a ton of money. Actually, I think we may have come in at a loss on that last year. And so we, as a PTO, are just kind of trying to decide on how often we want to do it, how big of a commitment. Would we have made any money if items weren't packaged up and put in backpacks and walked out of the room? And is it a safe space for us to be able to have our stuff in there? So that's not on the list, but that's generally something that would happen just in the fall and probably in the springtime too. It's a lot of work. It's a huge commitment. And as some of us, our kiddos are getting a little older and sports are becoming more of a commitment for us too, our nights are getting a little less available. So we're just trying to figure all of those things out, but we would really love your support to be able to do that if we can if we can get it figured out and get a schedule and decide if it's worth our time, energy, and money and all of those things. So I didn't put it on here, but please consider that as an addition to this calendar. So does anybody have any questions about the items that are on the list or anything that I've brought up?
I guess I'm just a little concerned about the Brew Fest and the appropriateness of that at school. Like,
Sure.
are there other schools that are gonna be there at the advertising there or having a table there?
No, it's probably not school. So one of the things I think that's important to understand about the Brew Fest is it's not just a come and get wasted kind of thing. The Kiwanis Club is a organization that fundraises specifically for kids initiatives, schools, homelessness, and all of those things. So the organization itself, high level of appropriateness for any school to be engaged with. And so we sort of felt like if it was appropriate for that kind of organization that fundraises for children, then it made sense for us to be able to fundraise at that event.
So will like those tables kind of be like off away from the drinking area?
Yeah, so there's a food truck kind of situation that happens, and we'll have our big Weathersfield tent, and we'll be off into off to the side, either by the music or by the food trucks. And so we just sell pretzel necklace, literally, it's pretzels on a string. I know it's simple, and we'll be stringing those probably here in the PTO room soon. And then our popcorn, just being able to bag up a bunch of that before, maybe even buy some. Don't tell anybody because it's supposed to be like Weathersfield's most famous popcorn, but we'll sprinkle some of our special sauce on it and make it worth our while. So we can't actually collect money for the paw drop. It's not that kind of an event, but we can sell those things and we can advertise for our event. So we think we'll make a ton of money there, which is really nice. So it just felt like it was an interesting experiment for us this year. But I appreciate your question and concern. We had the same conversation too. So.
Anyone else have any?
I just want to make sure there's no policy that we've got in place that would conflict with, if we've got no alcohol slogans on T-shirts, on pupils in the school. I mean, it's not, obviously not the Kiwanis Club and the organization in the event. I'm still a little concerned about the association with the Brew Fest. I don't know, because I haven't done.
We have a policy.
We don't have any policy over,
We have, no,
obviously no
Tobacco
substance
on
on
school,
campus and
right.
whatnot, but
Yeah.
I thought we used to have a policy about advertising on garments, but
we do have that.
And we definitely aren't advertising on anything, so our logo wouldn't be on anything, but we are a separate 501c3, so technically we could. So you could have a policy, but it wouldn't if it's not in
it
our
doesn't,
bylaws.
okay.
Right, it doesn't apply to them.
It doesn't apply to us.
I don't want to
I understand
going over the
completely.
policies and okay, have we got our
Yeah.
T's crossed and our I's dotted and then run afoul of our own work.
Totally understand.
If nobody else thinks that there's anything in place like that would prohibit it,
Okay.
all right.
So no other questions, no other issues?
Thank you for this.
Yeah, well,
This
thank you
is
for your support always. It's-
Unbelievable amount of work.
It's gonna be a fun year, and we always appreciate your support, so like I'll do I hope to throughout the school year. Brian's been generous enough to let me come and take a few moments of your time and report back on all of these things, so I find that really important to come and let you know how everything is going, and so hopefully I'll be able to do that all school year long, but we've already had meetings throughout the summer, so we're ready to rock and roll. Can you believe it? We're already here. So yeah, I think we just need your, a vote on this, but I think you saved that till the end, right? Okay.
Yep.
All right, I don't think I have anything else. Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you, Jamie. All right, next up is our athletic director, Carrie Jewell.
Okay. So I thought I would start out this year, since it doesn't feel as rushed as I felt last year, by just kind of stating what I believe our philosophy around the athletics program here is. So I want to make sure that our community understands that it's at least my goal that aligns with the school goals around building a culture of kindness and inclusivity, while developing skills, obviously. Athletics build confidence and skills and camaraderie and teach lessons that go far beyond the field. And I know that it's always a conversation that happens about we should build teams to win but then other people want to just feel like it's, fun. So I feel it's important to come out saying that first and foremost, I want us to be able to include all kids of all skills, all abilities, and feel like that's what the philosophy is. So I just feel it's important to say that. So registrations have been open since the spring and they are coming in, but it does not happen until people get in back to school mode, and they're not there yet. We do have about 50 athletes registered for the fall, but that's far below what we know will come in. The increased price for registration went into effect and everyone's been very receptive to it. I haven't had any issues. We still will maintain that if that's a hardship for anyone to just talk with me and it will not be, we'll take care of it. So it will be a great season. It's just those numbers, you'll see more at the September meeting where we really fall. We are girl short in 3rd through 6th grade. So we're gonna get, have to be a little creative as we were last year, with combining some multi-age groups, and making sure that they're getting quality instruction. But yeah, there just was a run on men for a while, young men.
Are we
So,
4 girls short as far as the whole student body goes?
yeah. But I just, in our boys class, I think there's like 32-ish kids and I think there's 6 or 7 girls. I mean,
Wow.
it's really, there's a few years where there's just not girls. So we'll make it work though. So practices won't start until school does. That's pretty much the official rule. However, we have had some summer stuff happening that we've hosted, that we've encouraged kids to attend. There's been a summer league in Walpole and also in Chester that a bunch of our baseball players went to. We had a soccer clinic that went right through June on Sundays. Tonight we had a pickup baseball kind of sandlot style little event. It looked to me like there was a dozen or so kids out there. Pretty much ages are grades 4th through 6th. And just working with coaches and throwing balls and staying active. So we hope that we're gonna have a one-day basketball clinic. We're still trying to work out the details before school starts. But there will be some preseason opportunity for kids to just get together and just start working out and, figuring out there'll be unofficial for sure, but just want to let kids start to build their team relationships. We are working on the officials, the referees for our sports, and Christian Craig will be holding a session very soon for anyone interested in officiating soccer. So you don't have to be, certificate or patched as they call it. It can be anyone who's just interested in learning more. He'll give reviews on, what we're doing, and hopefully we'll be able to get all of our games covered this year without John, the assistant athletic director, having to officiate most of the games. With the increase in our budget, we are able to pay all of the officials. So even at the 3rd and 4th grade level, although it's a little less than 7th and 8th, but people are willing to volunteer, we know that, but it's also worth some money for them to do that. So if anyone's interested in officiating soccer, just reach out to me. And I think, that's kind of, I haven't started placing orders yet. I know we need some new soccer balls, but it's really just not gonna get underway until it gets underway. Middle school games, 7th and 8th grade, girls and boys soccer games are all scheduled. That happens early. But the 6th and under haven't even scheduled the scheduling meeting yet with the rec team, so. Are there any questions for?
Do we have coaches?
So for the most part, yes. But that also comes with once teams are decided, so, yeah, I mean, there's still room. If someone is interested in coaching, they absolutely should reach out. Seventh and eighth grade coaches are pretty well set, but sixth grade and under, if anyone wants to, we need help. But it is, soccer tends to be an easier season to have coaches for. I don't know why. Maybe it's just shorter season, less practices. Like basketball season is that's a long commitment for someone 3 or 4 nights a week. So, yeah.
Is there anything you need us to vote on? Or it's not like you need approval for anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, so today, one of the things that we were working on is we had Barb here for the SU, and she was working with our Lighthouse team, and they'll be meeting again tomorrow, and they're planning for the upcoming year. So I got some notes already from that team about what was going on, so I'm looking forward to reading over them and have us continue to move forward with Leader and me. So excited about what we have going on, finishing up Core 2, and we'll start talking about for the spring student-led conferences, and they're starting off this year with their portfolio. So we got those binders ordered, and kindergarten is doing pizza box portfolios where grades 1 through 5 are doing binders, and then 6th, 7th, and 8th will be doing virtual portfolios. So looking forward to that information and for the kids to continue to move forward with that. All right, the VTCAP. So results are supposed to be starting to come in around mid-August, but just right before this meeting, I saw that we had an update from Brittany that they are being individually released. So I'm gonna start taking a look at those in between packing boxes and to see where our kids were at. So hopefully by next month, we'll be able to have a better report of how our students did, but excited to get those results back earlier. I think it was supposed to be August 17th. And so for them to be back a week and a half earlier is great news. So we can see what areas we can focus on. So projected enrollment for FY24. So right now we're at 243 students. We have 19 incoming kindergartners, 27 first graders, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. Fifth grade is at 25 right now. And remember, that is that one class, that one grade level that has just one fifth grade class. They keep moving up. So that bubble's a little bit bigger right now. So we're watching that one. Sixth grade, and then 7th and 8th grade are all about where they're at. So we have more 8th graders this year than we did last year. We graduated 27 last year, and this year we have 36 in the books. So that's great news for us with our 8th graders. And then I know our students are super excited about their electives, and they've had lots of questions about those. I was at an event a couple weeks ago, and the kids are like, oh, I looked on Power School and I saw my elective, what I have. And so they were really excited about getting to know what things they're getting to do for next year. So excited for that opportunity for our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. All right.
Can I just add, Brian, BJ reported that there are 6 kids that are pre-enrolled, so that number
Okay.
will.
Yeah, so that number is going up. Yeah, because we got 4 on there. We got a 4th grader, 5th grader, and 2 7th graders. So that number is coming up, but with 2 more too as well. So we keep getting them in almost every day. So, which is great. Thanks, Christine.
Yep.
All right, so our students finished up with STEAM Camp, which was very exciting. So it ran for 4 weeks, finished up last Friday. Students had lots of opportunities to do different things for the 4 weeks. So we eliminated 1 teacher this year. So after last year, Mrs. Robinson and Mrs. Smith said, hey, we can do it with 2 teachers, which I always like that. And then Mrs. Sorrell, who helped out again this year, and they worked on dominoes and rockets and space and robots. And then they did the accumulating activity with a carnival, and they were designing and building carnival games. So it was great to have it. We had it right there in that space with the music room and the art room. So the students weren't too hot. And then of course, when they did the dominoes, they needed a bigger space, so they used the gym. But just that great opportunity and the excitement. And we had students that were so excited about STEAM Camp each and every week. And I heard from lots of parents about how much they use. Some of the students who went to Summer Academy too didn't enjoy it as much as STEAM Camp, but they did. But it made them want to go to Summer Academy so they could go to STEAM Camp as well. So it's always great to have that feedback from our students on how much they're loving something. And it gave us an opportunity, because she's going to be doing her STEAM class even more so than she did last year, especially with 6th, 7th, 8th grade, because that's one of our electives for next year or for this coming year. So, and then Building community, not as many opportunities this past month, but during the floods, when we had those in early July, was on those calls to make sure that if we needed to open up the school as a shelter, if we didn't, so it was going back and forth, was hopping in the car in the pouring rain, and then I got a call back, wait, don't go yet. We don't need it yet. So we ended up not having to open up the school, but we're there if we do need it, which is nice. They were able to reroute some people and put them in some different areas and utilize the old schoolhouse, 1879 school. So we didn't have to open up our school, but we are ready and willing to do that. And then also the event, the Proctor Library fundraising event, the summer evening, which was a great success, was there representing Weathersfield School. So it was a nice event for everybody. And then upcoming events, busy next few weeks, new teacher orientation, teacher work day, the SU and then a building-based day. So on that Friday before, it's nice that we're giving our teachers the opportunity to work in their classrooms beforehand, because I remember back when I was a teacher, you always want to get in your classroom. So everything your administrator is saying or anybody else is saying, all you're thinking about is how many students I have in my class and how am I going to get ready. So I'm glad that we're doing it prior to that. So some of that anxiety gets out of the way for teachers. And then we do our SU school or SU wide event. And then we come back and get a short amount of time to do building based stuff. And we got a lot of stuff planned in those 3 hours here at school, and then continue staff trainings on new curriculum. And then of course on the 28th, we have our welcome back barbecue and open house, which starts at 4:30, and then more staff trainings. And then first day of school, kids come back, all those anxieties are taken away, and we have our students ready to go. All right, next slide, Christine, please. And that's it for me, for my report. Oh, and then our student school board member, they did inform me that they would not be there tonight. They were out of town. So he will be here at our September meeting. Just want to make sure, hadn't forgot about him. All right, Christine, take it over.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Brian covered a lot, so I'm going to be brief this evening. I wanted to report overall on our summer academy, which was, I think, the best it's been since we started the program. It ran so smoothly. Katie, who is the director, always asks all the principals and staff to come the first week and just get kids where they need to be, but they didn't even really need us. The kids were great. So 112 students from all our schools took part, with an average daily attendance of 90 students per day, K-5. And we had 30 full-time equivalent staff, some were part-time, so we had them together to make a full staff member, so 30, which was up a little bit from last year because of the needs of students, but it ended Friday and it was a great success. And we have funds to run it again next year because our ESSER funds don't run out until September of 2024. So, hopefully we can continue that program after those funds dry up. One of the big things that we've been working on actually all year long is onboarding our new staff. We know how important it is to keep staff. So when you have a really thorough onboarding and you're making sure staff get everything they need and feel welcome and cared for, it does make a huge difference. So big shout out to Tina Canfield, who's in that little picture up there, and Brittany. They set up sessions all summer long on Wednesdays, 2 sessions a day, where new staff can choose when they want to come in. And they spend a couple hours with Tina and Brittany learning our systems, learning how to get into Frontline and do their essential trainings and their, if you remember this, but I think it was last year, we put in place a plan for ensuring all our new teachers and staff get the foundational training, the things that other teachers have already had in service on, and it's really hard to find a way to do that within the scope of the school day and the contract. But we're allowing staff to do that work during the summer, and they get paid for up to 6 hours, I believe, of their time, which is great. So they'll come in knowing more than they have in the past. We created a Google Classroom, so new staff will go on and they show it to them in the onboarding session. They go on, and Brittany spearheaded it. She made all of us do welcome videos, and they're in the classroom, and there's all sorts of things in there. And then when they get to the end, the last assignment takes them to a website for new staff, which each school has its own page. We're trying to be really mindful of what new people coming to Vermont might be looking for in their community. So, where can I get my haircut? Where are the meeting houses? Those types of things. So we're working on working on really making that a rich resource for new staff. So it's gone really well, and we're really excited about the system we've created, because there are lots of steps to get to there that happen behind the scenes, making sure everybody's fingerprinted and their provisional licenses are taken care of, and there's all sorts of steps, but it's gone really well, and we're gonna send new staff an exit ticket just to see what we can improve on in the future. So that's all I'm gonna report on tonight, but I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. We're revving up for the new school year, so we'll have more to share next month.
How far away are people coming from, like, to come work here?
So our new, I think our new coordinator of diversity, equity, inclusion, she's here, you met her last night, Tracy Price, she came from Portland. So, all the way across the country. They did find a house in, a small community in Vermont between Chester and Springfield.
Baltimore,
I've never heard of it yet, Baltimore, so.
it's a thriving metropolis.
Yeah, they close on their house, I think on the 18th, they'd hope to close
Oh,
sooner,
great.
but they did find a house. We do have a school counselor who's coming from Massachusetts who is looking to buy a house, so if you hear.
There's a house in Pleasantville for sale.
Is there? Okay, I will let, Kate Ryan, the principal of the high school, it's a high school counselor, was asking, I said, I'll do my best to.
Across the green, across from
Okay.
Memory.
Okay.
Be my neighbor.
Okay. Yeah, that's great to know. I will send that along. But yeah, so we're excited. We are not quite fully staffed. I think you are, right, Brian? Yeah.
Spanish teacher,
Yeah.
looking for a Spanish teacher.
Still
With the exception of
looking.
the Spanish teacher, yeah.
But we're in better shape than we were at the beginning of last year, all our schools. So we actually have a full roster of counselors at the Windsor School. So they were short 2 all last year, which does have an impact. So we're really thrilled about that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anyone else have any questions? Up next is items for discussion, motions. I guess we sort of combined now the action
The
list.
discussion and the motion.
Yeah, it's the one. So our first thing up are our school board goals that we came up with at our board retreat, which I'll just read them. Mental health, health class, school safety, visual and performing arts, staff recognition, foreign language, and new curriculum implementation. Does anyone have anything that they thought that they'd like to add to that list, or anything to say about any of those? 'Cause then we'll add them, we'll replace our old radar list with the new one.
So I just picked up on something. Are we having foreign language?
No,
Here?
well, you, I believe Brian.
Yeah, I can chime in on that. So we're still set up to have our virtual type class from VTVLC, but we got a much larger grant from the Burn Foundation. And so we did throw it back out there to see if we would get somebody, because the amount of money that they gave us was pretty significant to be able to fund a foreign language teacher. But it hasn't happened yet. So.
Can that money be used towards the VTVLC, or that would only be for hiring an actual person?
Some of it can be used for that because it's still the foreign language program. That's how we originally wrote the recommendation for funding for it. And then they just gave us quite a bit more than what we expected. So we said, well, let's see if we can still find somebody then. And there just isn't anybody out there. I believe Heartland's still looking for someone as well too. So foreign language in Vermont is tough.
I heard it's tough all over. It's one of the hardest teachers to find is foreign language. Has anything happened with the health class?
Not that I know of.
I didn't bring that up as a concern last night, I probably should have.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah. That is another position that we are not able to fill in. So the Windsor high school doesn't have a health teacher, which is a a big thing. They have a graduation requirement. I mean, they're figuring it out, but, so, no, not yet.
Is that still something you would consider feasible as far as sharing that instructor position amongst all the schools in the district, or?
We could talk about that. I mean,
Okay.
it would have to be an SU employee, right? Shared across the SU. Yeah, that's an interesting, out of the box thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what,
Part-time is better than none.
part-time is better than none. I will put that on the SU agenda for next month. We'll talk
Thank
about it. Yeah.
I'll take a motion to add our new radar list to the agendas and to make that our new goals for the coming year.
So moved.
That was Mark that made that motion. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Up next would be a report on the fencing. Brian, were you able to get any?
So I reached out to Jim Taft, so he reached out to Springfield Fence Company, so they're supposed to come back out and remeasure since we wanted to do it along the side of the parking lot as well. And so we're waiting on them to come back out.
Are there any other companies that we can contact in addition to them, just to have more than one bid? We can't hear you.
You're muted.
I'm sorry, you cut out too. As soon as I hit it, when I turn off my mic, then the volume goes down. So what
Yeah,
was that?
I was just asking if we were gonna get call any other companies to get additional bids besides Springfield Fencing.
We definitely can, yeah. So I reached out to Jim and said that it was a go for the fence companies, for the fencing. So he said he would look out, so I can double check with him if he's looking out for other ones besides Springfield or not. But yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I guess we'll keep that one on our list for next month. Athletics, we don't need to do any voting for. PTO would like us to vote on their fundraisers.
Can I make a motion to approve all on the schedule? For
Yeah.
the year instead of doing it,
Yeah, we don't have to
Is it
do them individually, no, yeah, we can do all ones. You'd like to make that
then I'd
motion?
like to make that motion.
Okay. Mark made the motion to approve all of the fundraisers requested by the PTO. I just kind of want to make one thing, just to make sure that we don't have any sort of alcohol related, like tchotchkes around our, our table or anything like that, just to kind of, keep us
Separate.
separate. But other than that,
And there are 7 events, just to clarify.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Oh,
9,
8, 9, excuse me.
9 events.
9
And
events.
the booster booths are not on there either, but I would
Yeah.
like for that to be considered.
Yeah,
part of
and
this as
the booster.
How many do we think that would be?
well. Oh, a lot,
Is that-
because every home game, yeah,
Yeah.
for
So just
two
9
Okay.
seasons,
plus.
so.
So just 9 events plus
9 events
concessions.
plus
Yeah.
concessions. Yep.
Okay. Anyone else have any further comments about that? Okay, take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and that passes unanimously.
Thank
Have
you.
fun.
Thank you.
Okay, so we don't have E this month. And then, the code of ethics, we did look at this at our board retreat. We talked about it last night at the SU meeting, and I guess, it was it wasn't really decided, but, it was just,
Discussion.
yeah, we decided that we would each go back to our boards and decide if this was something that we wanted to have all of us sign and then maybe keep it somewhere. BJ would probably be have to store it for us, but just, I mean, it's just stuff that I think everybody does and would do anyhow.
I'll just pass this.
So, if everybody's okay with that, I'll just ask BJ to make some copies of this for our next meeting and we'll sign it at our next meeting. That's okay with everybody? Okay,
Could we get those copies before?
Yeah, I can make it now.
yeah.
Yeah, now, well, so that we're prepared.
Have our lawyers looking over.
I'll call my attorney right now.
Okay, is there any need for an executive session?
I think so.
Right? Yeah. I guess, should we?
Oh, you wanna do that one quickly?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
quickly, yeah. We'll just have a very, very short executive session, just,
It's contract.
yeah, contract stuff. And then, before we do that though, let's set the next agenda.
So we should be announcing what we're going into executive session for
It's for contract issues, the contract.
with employees,
With one
with
employee.
employees.
Let's see, I have, so the fencing, and there'll be another report on athletics. I'm sure there'll be some PTO reporting on how everything's going with the start of school. Oh, and then also, the student school board member introduction, we'll do this one. And I think that,
We may have,
Are we following up on the staffing,
yeah,
foreign language stuff?
yep,
Yeah.
and we can follow up on the Cognia or VT cap.
VC, VC.
and what did you just say?
Foreign language.
Foreign language, sorry.
And what else have we got?
Yeah. And will there be any, I know sometimes we start budgets, like will be, a report from Ed, 'cause usually in September we have
Financials.
Financials, right?
Financials, yeah. And, if you wanna look at them ahead of time, Larry's very good about putting it in the board portal.
Yeah, that's great, okay, yeah, so everybody keep an eye out for those, that's very exciting.
Where will we find that?
In the board portal, so where the, like where you go
To see the agenda.
to see the agenda
Yeah.
and stuff, yeah, there'll be a quarterly financials report that you can look at before the meeting, and then that'll be probably online to talk about it.
I just realized I do have one small announcement.
Oh, okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Pending, all the paperwork and the licensing, looks like next year we're gonna be doing, Disney's Beauty and the Beast. So, that is, as soon as we find out we've got the approval for that, and the rights secured, we'll let you know.
I just looked at the quarterly will be in October. So-
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so that'll be after
October.
October, okay, never mind. Cross that out. Did you get all of that, Becky?
I don't know if I got one thing that maybe Vincent Jewell said. Did he
Foreign
add something?
Yeah,
Foreign-
there's one,
I put follow up on staffing. Is that
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay?
Yes.
And then I think follow up on the VCAP. Was that one?
VT cap.
Yeah, then I got them all.
okay, great, thanks, Becky.
The only thing I didn't get all of, if you want every single one in here, Anne Marie, is your new radar list.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I can email it to you, Becky. after.
Okay, that'd be great. I got some of them. I just couldn't write fast enough.
okay, oh, and also we need to set the day and time, which, what's the,
September 12th.
September 12th is the first Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so September 12th at 6:30.
Are you planning to be in the music room, or are you going back to the?
I think,
So I've checked with Brian a couple times to the meeting tonight to see if you could hear. Mike Walker changed some of the settings tonight on the owl, and he said he could hear everybody great,
okay,
better, so we should probably keep it in here if you guys are comfortable with that.
yeah, I think this is plenty of room for us, yeah. It's a little cozier than the gym and doesn't have that noisy, HVAC system that kicks on everything. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so September 12th at 6:30. And, I guess I'll take a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.